It was a Chicago school teacher who took me and my wife, Polly, and two of our sons to Hiroshima and Nagasaki back in 2012. She did this by, her name was Rosemary Barilla, she did this by teaching our son Wesley Sadako and the 1,000 paper cranes. It was the first human story of Hiroshima or Nagasaki that I had ever read. I mentioned that to a Japanese journalist working on a story on the anniversary of the bombings, and that story got back to Japan, and I had a phone call from Masahiro Sasaki, Sadako's older brother. We met for the first time in New York in 2010, Masahiro and his son Yuji, and during our meeting, Yuji carries a small plastic box with paper cranes in it, Sadako's last cranes. And he opened the box and he took one crane out and he dropped it into my palm. And he said, that is the last one that she folded before she died. And at that point he asked, would you and your family come to Hiroshima and Nagasaki? And I said yes. During our visit we met more than 24 survivors, hibakusha. They did not come with anger or recrimination. They came with only one thought, and that was to tell us their stories so that we understood the horror of a nuclear explosion. And they asked at the end of each meeting, please help us continue to tell these stories so we don't do this again. At the end of the day, on August 6th that year, a survivor named Sugio Ito invited my family and I to light a lantern and send it down the river. It was dedicated to both his brother who had died in Hiroshima and his son who had died at the World Trade Center. I'm going back to Japan in September with Annie with Hope 80, a peace initiative. I understand there's going to be lots of bike riding between towns. They will be singing, which I'm apparently supposed to take part in. They apparently don't want this mission to succeed, if that's what they're aiming for. But I think the most important thing about this is that they've organized us together. I'm not the only descendant going. We are going with the great-grandson of Mahatma Gandhi. We are going with the great-granddaughter of Winston Churchill. We are going with the great-grandson of Prime Minister Tojo, Hideki Tojo. And we are going with the granddaughter of Amon Goethe, the prison camp commandant from Schindler's List, if you all saw that movie. That, to me, is the important thing, to show that generations on, we're together. And I think that's what you're building here, and that's what we must keep building. Thank you.
So I'd like to invite you to put your wish and your prayer for the world into the flame of hope. Take a breath or two and feel the life in your body with your breath. Put your hand on your heart and feel your heart beating. And know, right now, there's so many hearts in the world that have just stopped beating. And there are so many hearts in the world that have just started beating. This we all have in common. We have so many things in common, but this. Find in your heart a point of pain. Pain that you have in your heart, in your spirit. Could be associated with something personal, could be about the world. Everyone carries this point of pain in our hearts. Please hold an image of the flame of hope in that pain point in your chest. And if you would, use the light of this flame to go a little bit deeper, if you dare, into the pain, and allow to arise. Let yourself find your wish, your own wish, your prayer for the world. It's connected to that pain. So take a moment to find it. Could be words, could be feeling, could be some image. Your wish for the world. And unify this wish, this prayer in your chest with this flame of hope. This flame of hope ignites your own flame of hope inside of